Greetings and prepare for the amazing. What you will see is great racing. Competitors with skills from front to back. Watch as they go up and down the pack. Please enjoy the racing at its best. Battles wage from first to last. The action is wall to wall. GT45 covers it all. We're all here to be entertained. These drivers go hard and not restrained. Cheer for your favorite, you will not regret. The spectacle you watch, you will never forget. Please enjoy the racing at its best. Battles wage from first to last. The action is wall to wall. GT45 covers it all. GT45 covers it all. Please enjoy the racing at its best. Battles wage from first to last. The action is wall to wall. GT45 covers it all.
Welcome back, everybody. Back to that lovely formation lap here again, as always. We'll be with you guys and gals in just a few minutes' time. everybody, as we are now setting up for that driver swap here as we lead in towards our 18-hour mark at the 24 Hours of Nurburgring here from the International Racing Organization Gran Turismo Endurance Championship 2026. It's our third running season, and we have seen a lot of drivers moving up and down the field here over the last few hours, but the one constant that has stayed true here for the last while is that this 224 Ferrari of NWR Motorsports is still leading the race. So, with that being said, 6 hours to go. We're starting to see some big name drivers get behind the wheel of these race cars, which means all of these teams are on very similar wavelengths as far as their strategy goes, and you got to save the big guns for the end of the race. So now it's kind of going to be all on the line. This stint is going to be very important for all 12 teams on the racetrack here today, as this is kind of the setup stints for the last 4 hours of the race to the checkered flag. So it's important that you have a very seasoned driver in behind the wheel of the car, and the objective is, if you're not leading the race, catch the leader. So we're going to see drivers on the edge here in this stint, and possibly because of that, a very, very catastrophic consequence for one of these races here in this stint. It's just the way it goes when you're pushing as hard as these drivers are pushing, but these guys are professionals, so they might not make the mistake. They may keep it all neat and tidy for the full 2 hours driver stint duration here, but we're gonna have to wait and see as we are underway here with that 224 car. The crew hard at work there to get that driver out as quickly as possible. So it is game on here, ladies and gentlemen, again. And as we hit hour 18, it is roughly about a minute lead here for the 224 car last time I checked, just before we settled into the booth here. And we're about to find out as things get underway here. So the 224 car gets an open racetrack here right now, and the weather is iffy at the moment. It seems like it is a little overcast. The sun is definitely not shining, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what Mother Nature has in store for our racers here today. It's been an up and down thing. We haven't seen a whole ton of rain, unless I've missed a whole bunch, which is possible. Been very busy here so far this weekend, but been enjoying the racing coming from the International Racing Organization, that's for sure. So we are full underway here with stint number 10 now, as our race leader is out on track, and that should bring out our second place team here in about another 30 seconds, give or take. Just catching up on a couple of notes here. He's catching up on a couple of things here. While we wait for our field to get out on track here. Again, I want about a minute lead for our race leader here, maybe a little more. Which is going to give him at least a GP circuit advantage over our next driver, who is on their way out now. And it is the 111 car here of OVO Esports, our current championship points leaders, heading into 24 Hours of Nurburgring here today. And they are out on track here, and that gap is roughly about a minute 46 right now. So we'll wait for that to settle in, but must have been a pit stop made after I was checking in on the live timing here before we settled in. So yeah, it was a minute 2 the last time I checked, from about a minute 45. So definitely a pit stop being made, I think, late in that last stint here by the 111 car. So yeah, I mean, the 224 car did a great job at really maintaining that gap from what we seen like 4 hours ago, 6 hours ago, even the last time we were here in the booth. So doing a really great job at just managing the race right now with the 224 car, and that's important. Obviously, got to keep the cars safe. Don't need to overdrive it right now. They're not having to push their way up to the front. They are in front, so it's just a matter of maintaining the pace of the race at this point. There's going to be drivers. There's going to be teams definitely pushing hard. They're definitely going to be trying to make the time up. And we're saying, kind of as things are starting off here, that this is kind of the important stint here. We're 6 hours into the end of the race. And this is kind of that setup stint for the last 4 hours of the race. You know, the big drive to the finish line. And I mean, we still got all 12 teams here on the racetrack 18 hours in as well. So the teams are doing a great job of keeping the cars running, keeping the cars on the racetrack. We've definitely had some issues with some of the teams here today. But at the end of the day, they keep getting those cars back out there, and they keep those cars are running and turning laps. So it's important. Every point matters, obviously, in a championship, especially a championship that goes over the duration of a full year. Basically, from February until the end of November is when IRO is active and running championships, split 1 and split 2 here. And, it's been a good, healthy racing season so far. Again, the season number 3, that's for sure. The competition has definitely stepped up a notch over the last season as well. Not only obviously in split 1, which but with the improvements in split 1, obviously means the massive improvements in split 2, and those average racing teams that were in split 2 last year definitely had their work cut out for them to make the cut this year. That's for sure. We must have had a disconnect for our 303 car here. We should be seeing coming out here right away, and we're going to come out just in behind the 73 car. So the Elite Racing Squad, that number 73 and W3. 73 BMW, get it right, Ghost, in 3rd place here right now. So, you know, they've been working hard all race long. They've kept that BMW right there near the front end of the field all day long, and so far that's got them up into 3rd place, but it's only a slim margin in 3rd place here with a 12-second gap over the 303 Feel Good Racing car, and that car has been hunting on that podium all weekend long here as well. So as things start to shape out, it's a minute 46 between 1st and 2nd place. Between 2nd and 3rd place is a sizable gap of 3 minutes and 8 seconds. And I'm not sure what has caused all that to happen over the last few hours, but pretty sizable gap there. So 1st and 2nd place kind of in their own world right now. 3rd place with only a 12-second gap, and there's 44 seconds here to the number 1 esports races on the GTEC champions here this year, currently being piloted by Mini Hafidi, one of the Gran Turismo 7 World Tour drivers here behind the wheel for the ERA team here today, and let's see what they can do all the way up into 5th place. So they've been chipping away, trying to move their way up through the field here over the last few hours, and up a couple of positions from the last time that we've seen them on track here. So starting to make some forward direction here on the racetrack. It's still almost 6 minutes to the race leader here. That is a pretty tall order with only 6 hours remaining, and you basically need to knock out 2 minutes every 2 hours, so a minute an hour you need to try and take out of the race leader. With the pace of this field this season, that is going to be a lot to ask for without a little bit of assistance, I think. Alright, our number 20 Project 1 racing car is out here now, and they are 28 seconds in behind that number 1 car. The 20 car has been making big gains here today as well as they continue to try and push themselves up through the field here as well. Very rough start to the race. They were down into P11 at one point, currently sitting in 6th place, so having a pretty good little race there is that number 20 Porsche. Our 27 BMW here, the Inferno Motorsports team, has been back and forth between 7th and 4th place here, 3rd place I think even potentially at one point in time all weekend long, so they are just kind of bouncing back and forth through the field here right now and sitting in 7th place, and almost a minute gap here now to Our number 20 car. I forgot who was up in front. So we're gonna have to really kind of keep our eye here. I think between third and I want to say fifth place right now. Gaps are smaller within reach, within battle range for sure. By the end of a tire stint, so we're going to sit kind of right here and just keep our eye on things here as things settle out. I mean, 44 seconds, I guess that's not that small of a gap. I thought it was smaller than that for some reason. Alright, our 66 car is out the shadow here behind the wheel now, and just about a minute in behind the 27 in front of Motorsports BMW as they come out of pit lane here as well. And then we got the 54 car coming out of pit lane just in behind. 28 seconds roughly is the gap between 8th and 9th place here currently, as we see that a 54 Porsche coming out. And hey, all of the liveries are loading up this time around, so look at us go. Seeing our number 7 car coming next here from Sector 7 Racing. Been a tough day here again for them on the racetrack with the malfunctions, with the technical difficulties, and unfortunately has set them back in the field, but they still have time to make some track position up, but they are running out of clock to do it. 6 hours remaining on that clock, and again, just those same issues this season that plagued them last season here. Not quite to the extent that they had last season, but definitely still affecting that team and that crew's positioning on the racetrack throughout the race for sure. And I mean, racing is racing. Things happen, you know. Cars have issues, internet connections just blip out. Servers are servers, and the game is the game. But you hate to see it. You just hate to see it. You don't like to see, one or two or three teams be playing that same issue all season long, and it seems to be a hanging nuisance over the Sector 7 racing team here. This at the beginning of the season, of course, through last season. So hopefully, the bad juju goes away, and then these guys get to run some clean races here in the last half of the season, because they're a great group of racers, they're really fast drivers, and they're not fully able to really display and showcase what they can do in this championship due to those technical malfunctions. They're a very fast team, they're very fast drivers, they're very experienced behind the wheels of the cars here in Gran Turismo 7, and I mean, they don't give up. They always push, they keep pushing, but it wears on you. It definitely wears on you. I mean, you got to try to push that back out of your mind every time you get in behind the wheel of a race car when that continues to happen to you. That's, what they're doing right now. They're facing adversity once again here with these technical difficulties, but they're going to keep pushing. They're 2 minutes in behind the 54 car. It's a pretty sizable gap, but they don't have any immediate pressure in behind them here, so that Cody can really just focus on putting in as fast laps as he can get in comfortably in that Porsche 992. Alright, we'll keep going through the field here. We got nothing really much changing right now. The gap is closing between the 73 and the 303 car here with just about 10 seconds. Now it's 6.8 seconds here. The 44-second gap hasn't changed there, and the 34-second gap hasn't really changed much there. Definitely got some decent gaps rolling here now as we're at the 18-hour mark of the race, and just want to see how that all settles out with pit strategies and all of these things that these crews are going to try and pull, the magic tricks out of their hats, so to speak. And we did see a sub 8-minute lap there in the last stint that Jaeger was on as well. Thank you to Jaeger as well for the coverage over the last couple of hours. And I believe we're passing it off to the Stint here, leading us into the 20-hour siphon through my papers here real quick. It's going to be Jack. So this is a new broadcaster here at the International Racing Organization. This will be his debut here today. If he's done one already. I don't know if he has. No, this will be his debut, so you know what to do there. I'm giving him a hard time right now. Okay. Sub on his channel when he goes live. We'll get that posted in the comment section near the end of the stint, so you guys know where to find it as well. Right, so we are starting to see that yellow and white Porsche coming into the background of the camera here in certain parts of the racetrack right now, meaning that the 303 car is obviously closing the gap up on the 73 car now. We can see that in the live timing as it's just about at 5 seconds even right now. And again, that gap was 9.9 seconds, I believe, when we started the stint here. So 12 seconds maybe even. But you can see now it's under 5 seconds here. So the 303 is definitely absolutely moving on this racetrack right now. And we're going to go through the field here one more time. By the time we come back, they'll be almost in battle range on that. I'm still waiting for two of her teams to get out here, so must be a little bit behind here right now at this point in the race, but we will see them finally get those cars out of pit lane and keep moving on down the racetrack here in due time. So just bear with here as and they are finishing up their driver stand here shortly, and oof, a little bit deeper I think than Cody wanted right there heading into the corner. You kind of see him whoa on the car there for a second as it pushed a little bit wide into the corner. That's going to cost him a small amount of time in the corner, but right now with the gap where they are, I don't think that matters a whole lot. Almost 5.5 minutes here between Cody and the Porsche. Why is this game doing this tonight? I'm so curious. I checked and double checked and triple checked before we even went live that every single livery was on the car. Like I have all weekend long, and then they were all fine and dandy. The moment that the race gets started, we get this on at least one of the cars. So yeah, I don't know what to say. It was showing up literally before the stint started. So GG's GT7. They got a really nice looking car too, so it's kind of frustrating. Trying to get a little bit of perspective on exactly what the distance between our top three is. It's quite significant here, so we'll have to see how that develops. But this battle for third place is definitely developing here in front of us. so we are going to see a battle here for this position, most likely over the next couple of minutes here. As you can see, the 303 car is closing in quite quickly on that 73 BMW here. We're just going to kind of keep rolling through the field here for now. So I guess the biggest question is what teams are going to try and use pit strategy for the gaps up here at this point in the race, and which ones are just going to kind of keep to their strategy at this point in the race. I think we're going to definitely see some audibles happening here. We got the Portugal All-Stars Ferrari, which is also not showing up. I am having some serious issues with livery showing up this weekend, and I don't understand why. Work before the race starts. I'm not frustrated. Is what it is, Joe. We know who they are. That's all it is. And I can confirm that the deliveries are there and on the cars, so there is no infractions there, quote unquote, in a sense. It's just some weird game bug that's going on, obviously, right now in the game. I don't play Gran Turismo 7 that much anymore, so I'm a little bit out of the loop with the current issues that are going on with the game. But very evidently, this is one of them, so it is what it is. Alright, let's get to this battle here for third place. We are starting to get closed up here. We're almost within a second of each other now at this point. So the 303 car is definitely closing up the gap here on the 73 car. And I guess the bigger question is how much is the 73 car going to fight the 303 for this third place position, or are they just going to defend when they can, and then when the 303 gets a position on them, are they just going to kind of gently let them have it, so to speak? I don't think there's a letting have it situation here anyways. I think obviously when you got straight in play, the Porsche is just going to use it to the advantage, tucking behind the 73 car. And by the time he gets enough momentum to pass the 73, he's going to be in the optimal spot on the track anyways to pass. So I don't think we're going to even have an attempt at a response here from the 73 car. And I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of fight from him here either. Again, it's that point in the race where you don't want to give the position up, but it's very evident that 303 car is very much quicker right now. The objective here is moving for the 73 car just to stay tight, stay nice and close to the 303 car here, and maybe catch him making a mistake, get the position back from him, and at bare minimum, use that pace of that car in front to try and increase your pace and hopefully start to reel in second place. I mean, a 3-minute gap there between second and third place. It's a pretty large gap, so there's a lot of work that needs to be done there, and two cars should be faster than one, especially around here. The trick is, though, it's trying to keep up with that 303 car right now, and that's going to be the trick. Yeah, it's because there's a couple of drivers that are just a little bit behind. Our 11th place driver is 2 laps and 2.5 laps in 12th place here. So just a rough race for a couple of the races. So I mean, that's an additional 20 minutes essentially from the time that the race leader gets in till they can make their driver swap, right? So yeah, Stint 10 has already been well underway. Well, essentially Stint 9 is finishing. I mean, if this was ACC or iRacing where we had the driver swap feature built into the game, it would be the same difference, except they just wouldn't have made their pit stop yet, essentially. That happens on these 24-hour races. You get a couple of teams that have a couple of moments on the racetrack, or have a couple of disconnects, whatever the case may be, and that sets them a little further back in the field. And And again, at the pace of the lobby, it's hard to make time up or chunks of time up in a stint. So once you get stuck in that position, it's very, very hard to get that time back. So they're just bleeding time essentially right now throughout the race. But you don't quit either. You give it everything you got for the whole 24 hours, and it is what it is. You come back the next racing month with a new plan and hopefully a better result. And that's just endurance racing at its finest. But yeah, it's just the way the system is. Just the way the system is. Haven't missed anything really. We had that quick battle for third place there just a minute ago. The 303 car getting the job done there was pretty simple right down the back straight, where we've seen a lot of the passes that we made here this weekend. Not really missing anything. Changed at all? I feel like that gap has changed a little bit. I feel like the 54 car is closing in on the 66 car a little bit here. 2 minutes is the gap between the Sector 7 esports team and my team esports as well. It's going to be a tough gap to close up here for this number 7 car, but they'll do what they do. They'll do what they do. Every day in the QRT car here as well, currently sitting in 11th place, and they got a big hill to climb here too. But again, like I said, these drivers are going to keep these cars rolling forward, because every point does still, at the end of the day, matter, especially when you're in a championship for 10 months out of the calendar year. 11 with all the qualifying procedures and everything that happens pre-season, and then we've got our Portugal All-Star team here in 12th place right now. About a little over 2 laps in behind our current race leader right now. So that's why, like a 20-minute extension on the end of the stint for basically the bottom third of the field right now. And that's an also tough part, if you have rain at the end of the stint and you're one of those teams that's behind by 5 or 10 minutes, you're going to be caught out in that rain for a lot longer than the rest of the field in front of you was, and that's also going to cost you more time on the racetrack too. It is a double-edged sword. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough being those teams at the back of the pack, and I mean I can take it as from experience from racing last season in Split 2 myself. So it plays on you in so many different ways. It really does. Alright, so the 224 car is opening the gap up a little bit here right now on the 111 car here as well. So mistake definitely made, I think, here from the 111 car, because there was about a 6-second gain there this time around. If you placed back in P3 after disconnecting Stint 9, they placed back in P4 and have closed up to P3 and made a pass since the stint has started. So they came out 12.5 seconds behind the Elite Racing Squad BMW, and it took them 3.5 laps or 3 laps to catch up and make a pass. So they did come back in 4th place, but have since battled up into 3rd place. 41 seconds. The gap is actually closing a little bit here between the 73 and the number 1 team here now as well. So the number 1 car has dipped about 3 seconds out of the 73 car over the last lap here as well. So the 73 car is just a little bit off pace here currently in this stint compared to the cars around it right now as well. So that's the way it goes sometimes. The disconnect also depends when you disconnect it too. I mean, if you disconnect near the end of the stint, it hurts you, but it doesn't hurt you as bad as if, say, you disconnect at the beginning of the stint. And seeing the gaps in the race here right now the way they are, it doesn't surprise me that they're going to lose too many spots with the disconnect, especially if it was a mid to late stint disconnect. The nerve is just doing what the nerve does. Alright, so the shadow here 12 seconds ahead of my team esports. So the 54 car is closing in. I did suspect that was the case here, but I wasn't 100% sure. But now that we've gone through the field here again, and you see another second and a half at the ball in between these two drivers off the gap, pardon me. And it's definitely very clear that the 54 car is chipping away at that 8th place driver in the front there. Cody is pacing my team right now in the 54 car, which is means he's not gaining anything right now on that driver, but that does mean that they are gaining a little bit on the driver in front there. So I mean, that's why you just keep pushing forward. It might not seem like you're gaining, but in reality you can very well could be gaining on 2 or 3 drivers without really considering that, right? Because you're only looking at the initial spot in front of you a lot of the time. That's your focus, that's the goal. That's what the driver has to worry about. The crew chief and the people behind the scenes looking at computers, doing the math, crunching the numbers. They worry about all that stuff. Essentially, relay that information. Our number 4 Ferrari here, Portugal All-Stars team. Alright, so we did see a sub 8 minute lap last time around, last stint. It was 7:59.496 or something like that. I don't know if that's the fastest lap overall in the race, but that's definitely a very fast lap for the GT3 cars around Nurburgring. We know that these guys can do it a little bit better than that yet for sure, but we may not see it under actual racing conditions. Obviously, the drivers have to worry about the condition of the car and the tires, so they can't just absolutely be full sending it every single lap because the tires aren't going to last and the strategy is not going to hold up. So there's a self-control behind the wheel of the car from our racers here right now. They're trying to still get a very good set of fast laps. They're also trying to make sure they've got enough under the car to maintain those laps as well for the distance they need to maintain them for. And now that the sun's starting to come out, it's going to start heating the racetrack up a little bit. That's going to start to give more grip to the tires in a sense, but it's also going to chew at those tires a lot faster the hotter it continues to get here on the racetrack. Alright, Feel Good Racing Team here has now opened that gap up after the pass to just about 9 seconds. A little slide there, entering in through the Vita chicane, so to speak, heading into the Nurburgring entry. But the good kind of slide there. Didn't look like it cost him anything, and maybe a little bit tired, I guess, but it definitely didn't lose any momentum there. The 73 car just coming into the Nordschleifer here right now as well. We've got Mehdi Hafidi here for the number 1 car in P5 here, and is cutting that gap down to the the Elite Racing Squad. My bad. 73 car up in front. That gap was 44 seconds at the beginning of the stint, but now down to 38 seconds. However, that gap was 44 seconds to FGR. That means that the gap is probably still about that, or maybe a hair more at this point, but they are closing in on the 4th place team here as well. 7:59 for a previous stint. I'm not 100% sure on that rapid. Usually that's something that I know, but I haven't been dialed right into the race this weekend fully because I've got other things happening behind the scenes. I'm double booked this weekend, so to speak. I've got this, and then I've got some world qualifiers in a mobile game that I'm currently competing in as well to try and make the world final tournament at the end of the year. So it's just kind of the way things worked out this week, and everything just kind of dropped on the same dates. So I have been extremely busy this weekend. When I'm not here, I'm literally with my esports team, practicing and getting ready for the next match. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a crazy weekend for me here, and it's not even close to over yet. We'll finish this race up here in stint number 12, and then basically we're going to have like 6 straight matches in a row right after I'm done broadcasting here. So yeah, I'm not going to sleep for about 40 hours straight here potentially before I can finally get some relaxation this weekend. But you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. It's just the life of a gamer, right? He's got to be definitely right there with it. I mean, 7:59.4 is that's a pretty quick lap. I know that these guys can definitely get around this track faster than that, obviously in perfect conditions, but again, under racing conditions, sub 8-minute lap is a pretty fast lap, needless to say. There we go, Uncas here for the OVO Esports car, the number 111 car here. Minute 58, just chipping away. There's a huge amount of racing events going on this weekend in real life and sim racing, to be fair. Yeah, that's true, that's true. There is a lot going on this weekend. You're not wrong. All across the board, that's for sure. Kind of see it in the viewer count here this weekend too as well. You can definitely tell that the content is very busy this weekend. Trying to find the right way to put that. It's getting late. It's 1:30 in the morning here for me where I'm at right now, so. We're running off of coffee and second chances here this weekend. Right, number 20 car here is 50 seconds in behind number 1 car, so losing touch a little bit with the number 1 car. Number 1 car is chipping away at the 73 car in front, so a little bit quicker is that number 1 car. The 27 car, as soon as I get the right button here, is 35 seconds in behind the number 20 car. I can't remember if that gap is increasing or decreasing. I think it's I honestly can't remember right off the top of my head. Minute 22 from the 66 on the number 27 car, but the 54 car still closing in on the 66 car here. They got the gap down to 7.6 seconds now, so chipping away lap by lap here, 3/4 of a second roughly per lap faster than the 66 car up in front at the moment. So my team Esports looking pretty solid here right now in this stint to get started here. And we've got Cody for the number 7 car. The Sector 7 Esports racing car here is maintaining that gap to the number 54 car here right now. So everybody's just absolutely cruising right now. It's amazing how fast everybody's flying around this racetrack right now. There they are in the field. We've got the day here in the QRT number 64 Porsche. It is purple and yellow, ladies and gentlemen. I know you can't see that right now, but that is what the color actually is on the racetrack, even though the game doesn't want to show it. Sitting in 11th place on personal best lap so far in the stint as well. 5:36 in behind, so I think that they are losing just a little bit of time currently to the number 7 car. Not much, but definitely a little bit. And then we've got our number 4 Portugal All-Star team here, minute 7 in behind the play, and I think they're up by about 3 seconds since the beginning of the stint, give or take. On that number 11 team, the 11th place team here on the racetrack. So back to the race leader, still maintaining that 2-minute gap here right now, and doing a great job. The 224 car, the WR Motorsports car. My tongue's been tied. Ooh, he makes a mistake right there. Gets it a little bit wide on the racetrack there, but thankfully he was able to hold it together there, keep it out of the wall. That could have been not catastrophic, but it definitely could have not been ideal there for the 224 car. And yeah, just floated out a little bit wide there, and it went a little off road with that Ferrari there. So very fortunate that didn't cost him any more than maybe 3/4 of a second or so in the lap time here, but tense moment right there for the 224 car. Hello, how you doing, man? How you doing? How you doing? All right, 27 Inferno Motorsports car here, 33 seconds in behind, and I mean, where is the battle going to come from, right? I mean, those gaps are pretty large, so we're just going to have to kind of just keep scrolling through the field here in this stint and see who's making ground up and who's not. But we do have a battle potentially brewing here between the 66 car and the 54 car. Let's jump on with our 54 car here, as they have been putting in some good work at closing up that gap behind GT Finland Racing Course here. So gap is just about under 4 seconds here at this point, and give it another lap, maybe lap and a half here, and I think we're going to see a spirited little fight between these two Porsches. Thought we'd see this close up a little bit quicker here, but it looks like the number 66 car has found a similar pace at that 54 car here, so making what appears to be a scheduled pit stop here. As he mounts up pit lane, that's always going to extend that gap a little bit here, but the race leader obviously going to have to make a pit stop at some point to some extent or another. So pit stop being made here for 111 car, and I believe that's the first of our drivers to make that stop here in this stint. So the gap is diminishing here. 66 to the 54 cars as well. Here's got it down to 2.6 seconds now, and might not have to fight for this position depending on where their fuel load is. Leg spike right there for the 66 car. Made him look like he went way off track there, but I don't think he went off track at all. A little bit of net coating coming from the 66 car. Pit stop being made here by our third place car now as well, so the FGR team now making a scheduled pit stop here as well. 1 lap later than that second place car. We got the 73 car also making a pit stop, and we also got the number 1 car coming in and making a pit stop, so there's our scheduled stops here. And I suspect we're going to see the same thing back here as well as this battle starts to develop between the 54 and the 66 car, but we'll have to wait and see. Number 7 car disconnecting now. Just a few moments ago. It's going to take him out of the stint here, and I mean, just tough day getting from number 7 car here. 54 car does pull out to make the pass here on the back straight as we head into the end of the lap here. And oh boy, I tell you what, man, real close on fuel right now is that Finland racing car. In 9th place currently, just losing that position to the My Team Esports with the 4 car there. Does he have enough to get him into pit lane here without losing too much momentum in the car? It's a big question here. Oh man, it's just enough, it looks like, as he is going to just get it into pit lane here. Ooh, that was close. BQS Melvin coming out for NWR here right now, so we've pretty much seen a full cycle of stops here now at this point. We'll probably see the day and our Portugal All-Stars team just hit maybe a lap or two further down. Obviously they're a little bit behind the race when they got out compared to the race leaders because they're a couple laps down, so they probably still have a couple of laps remaining on their strategies at this point. But we'll let that 8th and 9th place pit stop sequence happen, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at where the field's at in comparison to each other now after the pit stop sequence. It's a 2-minute 35-second gap for the 224 car here, so they've gained 30 seconds somewhere here on the 2nd place driver, and the 2nd place driver hasn't given anything away to the 303 car in behind, as that gap is still about 308. It was 309 when the stint started. 15-second gap from the 303 now over the 73 car, so it continues to open that gap up from 4th place, but in the meantime, the number 1 car continues to close in on the 73 car, and that gap is now 25.6 seconds. It was 44 seconds at the beginning of the stint, so the number 1 car is tracking, and it's tracking very quickly here right now. Just doing some math there. That puts the number 1 car 7 seconds faster so far this stint than the number 303 car currently as well. Number 20 car has a minute in behind the number 1 car, 31 seconds to get no man's land there for them. Much the same thing here for the 27 Inferno Motorsports BMW, and it is going to be the 54 car coming out ahead of the 66 car out of pit lane with 3 seconds to the good. They were definitely faster in the first set of tires. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out here in the 2nd set. But it is Brazilian Racing now 3 seconds in behind the 54 car in 8th place. 9th place, pardon me. The day from QRT Motorsports has about 8 minutes here in behind 9th place there, so losing some more time here. Not sure where, but they lost some time there. And number 4 car is now 59 seconds in behind Hidey here, so pulling in a little bit. The QRT Esports Porsche is the Portugal All-Star number 4 Ferrari. Alright, let's do a little onboard action here. Oh, this is wrong keyboard. Bad. like 3 keyboards in the stream setup right now. It's kind of ridiculous. All right, so it is Melbourne here. 1 minute and 41 seconds is the gap. All right, so now that the live timing started to sort itself out, we got a little more of a realistic look at what's going on here. So, not a 30-second gain for the race leader. It's actually about a 15-second loss for the race leader here. Ooh, but the number 111 car almost making a big mistake there. Manages to keep it underneath the line. Gets a little bit wide of the exit there. Eats a lot of that curve, but manages to keep the car out of the wall. 303 car is still 3 minutes chasing in the second place there. 17 seconds to get over the esports or the elite racing squad BMW. The 73 car, which he passed a little while ago. But with that being said, the number 1 car is tracking quite quickly. The gap now down to 23.5 seconds here between himself and the IRO car. It was 44 seconds at the beginning of the stint, so 56 seconds technically. FGR back in third, you know it. Alright, so 6th place driver is the number 20, 6th place team, pardon me, is the number 20 Project 1 Racing squad here in the green machine. Minute 6 in behind the number 1 car. They've been losing touch with that number 1 car since the stint started, but the number 1 car is absolutely flying right now on the racetrack. In comparison to the race leader, I'm not sure. We have to compare the times, I guess we'll really see. But it is still the 303 car fastest time on the racetrack in this stint with an 8 minute .834. Roughly about a second and a bit off what I believe was the overall fastest lap of the race, but I could be wrong on that. 30 seconds to gap from 27 to the number 20 car there. I was struggling in my mind to remember who was in front of the 27 car there. My team esports here is a minute and a half behind the 27 car, so they got some work to do now if they want to gain another position here in the stint. They're going to have to absolutely just send it like they never sent it before. But a minute and a half, we'll see how they work towards that gap. We got 5.2 seconds already over the GT Finland 66 car here on the racetrack. They've got 7 minutes to Hide, and then the Portugal All-Star number 4 Ferrari here is exactly a flat minute currently behind the 64 car from QRT Esports. 7 car did disconnect there again early in the stint. That's going to set them back yet again here in the racetrack, and just feel for them. I do. I really do. 8-minute point 6, so he does improve on the fast stop in the section there. That's what I was waiting for. Somehow I missed it, staring right at it. Getting really tired, not gonna lie. Continues to shrink from the 73 to the number 1 car here. Almost under 20 seconds at this point here now is the gap between 5th and 4th place. So at the pace they're going here, there is a potential battle brewing near the end of the stint right now if things continue in that direction. 27 car here sitting in 7th place. My team esports gaining 8th place just recently here, and has already opened up almost 6-second gap between the 66 car in behind, so doing a great job. Still maintaining that minute 30 to the 27 car in front. Alright, minute 35 is the gap from first to second here. Nothing changing here. 309 still that gap between second and third place. That hasn't really changed. Gap continues to grow between the 303 and the 73 car here. Now 21 seconds. So growing quite quickly. About as quickly as it's dropping to the number 1 car here in 5th place, chasing as well. And boy, the 73 car is just on fire here right now in this stint, I tell you what. Started out in 3rd place, now down in 4th, and now potentially looking like they're going to be feeling some pressure from the number 1 car here near the end of the stint as well. Maybe by the next pit stop sequence potentially at this rate right now. It's about 2 seconds a lap or better, so. 6 seconds is that gap between the 66 and the 54 car, so I don't know if that battle's fully finished yet there either. We do have the number 1 car, obviously, closing in on the 73 car for 4th place there as well. But other than that, a whole lot happening out here right now. No, I'm just not talking much. I'm just a little tired, Jakey. That's all. My bad. Gap is closing very quickly here, though, from the number 1 car to the 73 car. I mean, like, significantly quick. I figured it would be, like, near the end of the stint that this was going to close up, but it's definitely going to be right around that pit stop sequence. Definitely not needed. She's quiet. For a change. So I'm not sure what happened here. We got a little bit of mix-up going on here now. But my team now in a battle with the 66 car. The 66 car was out in front for a moment. Now the 54 car is back out in front. I'm not sure why the live timing is saying it's 9-second gap between them, because it's most certainly not. The 27 Inferno BMW is a minute and a half up the road at the moment here, and soon again here. So. GTEC Racing Team. No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm just tired, quiet because of it. Yes, it's a livery that's not loaded. Right? They all have legitimate liveries. It was working before the race started, and then as soon as the official race, quote unquote, started, they went to that black and red livery. That's been happening to me all day. That is the QRT Sports 64 car right there, and then the Portugal All Stars car has the same thing. I know. I'd like double check and triple check before I went live, and everything was working fine, and then and then this happens. So I've been having the same problem with the same 2 cars all night too, so I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. Alright, minute 34 is the gap. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for my silence there. We're just zoned out watching the race with y'all instead of talking about it. Having one of those days, I guess, today. I don't know. Alright, so minute 34 is the gap between first and second, so the gap is staying the same. Second and third's 3:11, a couple seconds gain for the 111 car over the 303 car. The 303 is the gap pretty good on the 73 car. The 73 car is about to start seeing a mirror full of number 1 car here pretty soon, only 8.4 seconds now separating 4th and 5th place here as we basically get near the next pit stop sequence. We've got the number 20 P Project 1 racing car here. They've been doing a fantastic job coming back up the field here today, just like the 73 car has. Currently sitting in 6th place, but it's 17 in behind that number 1 car. Definitely lost touch with that 1 car since the beginning of the stint, but continues to try and open the gap up to the 27 car in behind of Inferno Motorsports. But I believe it was 28 seconds earlier. Now it's down to 25. Yeah, 25 seconds, which means not really able to open it up any more than they have at the time being. But that little battle behind there between the 54 and the 66 did obviously help a little bit slowing those guys down just a smidge during the couple of small battles that they've had here on the racetrack so far. So the 54 car now back in front and in charge here, getting 10 seconds now is that gap to, oops, my bad, shadow for the 66 car. So today in the 64 QRT Esports car is sitting in 10th place, and the Portugal All Stars racing car here in 4th place. And again, struggling with 2 liveries here in this stint. And unfortunate disconnect for the Sector 7 Racing number 7 car again around, I think it was lap 8 or something like that. Maybe 9. One of those 2 laps. We need to turn the AC on in the house here and cool this up and down. I think it's too warm. It's too warm in here too. That's definitely not helping. What 2:15 in the morning, and my house is like 31 degrees Celsius right now inside the house. It's absolutely just cooking in here. Cooking. Just like the number 1 car is trying to catch the 73 here right now. Absolutely cooking. .2 seconds now is that gap. So we should see a battle there. You can see how hard the drivers are pushing to the rear. They're using a little more than the available tarmac surface here right now to try and maximize exit speed here in some of these corners on the racetrack as well. You can see a lot of heavy curb action here now on these drivers. They're just trying to cut every little bit of corner they can. Cut a tenth here, half a tenth there every time they go around. The pressure's starting to mount. The drivers realize what's on the ground. Ooh, big slide there from the 111 esports car there. We've seen a little bit of a slide from Melvin as well in the 224 Ferrari there just a minute ago. Same corner basically. Same sector of the racetrack. There's 3 cars coming around here now, but he's in a different part of the racetrack. At the moment he's just on the back straight there actually. Sitting there in 3rd place. The Elite Racing Squad has settled that gap down to 3rd place there. They have basically made that a nice consistent gap now at this point, but with that being said, the number 1 car is absolutely closing in. 5.5 seconds now is the gap, so you know that the pressure is starting to mount a little bit here on the 73 car. You know, obviously the team's been radioing that information to the drivers out there that number 1 car is definitely starting to close in here. And now if you just take a look in his rearview mirror, just be able to, I think, see that car back there. Not quite showing up in that rearview mirror yet. Pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. Number 20 car is 1989, 24 seconds ahead of the 27 car. 27 car is closing in on the 20 car here, slowly but surely as well now as the Stint rears past the halfway mark. And the 54 car has really gained time on the 66 car. 66 cars have come to the racetrack. We've got a little bit of front aero damage on this racing car currently here, which is unfortunate. That is probably going to force a pit stop if I had to guess for that team here now at this point to sort that damage out. I guess if you're going to pick up the damage on the race car near the pit window, probably isn't the worst time in the world to do it. If you're going to do it, might as well do it when you're close to your pit window. Missing buttons. Missing buttons. Very sunny on the racetrack here right now. The fans are finally getting a little break in the weather here. They can pull out the umbrellas and cold beverages here and enjoy a little bit of great sunny weather here at the Nurburgring right now as well. As the drivers finally get to see a little bit of what that sunshine looks like here on the racetrack too, and that just means that their cars are going to be a little bit quicker here on the racetrack as well. But the sun's been beating down on the racetrack here for a good solid 60 minutes or so now, so the track is definitely at least up to off-road temperature by now, you would think. What's going on, Cars? How you doing, brother? Alright, minute 40 is the lead from the 224 car to the 111 car. 3 minutes and 9 seconds of gap from the 111 to, the 303 car racing. From there, it is a 30-second gap to the 73 Elite Racing Squad, but they are about to be under pressure here from the number 1 car. Now, that gap was a lot closer, and oh my. Big moment here from the number 1 camp here, and that car is all kinds of flashing red with damage here right now. So a big moment here from the number 1 car, and that very hard charge down to 4.5 seconds there has now gone back up to 11.6 seconds. And I would assume we're going to see this guy, this car coming in for a pit stop at the end of this lap here now. After that moment on the racetrack, you're doing well. We love to hear that. Love to hear that. The number 20 car from Project One Racing is a minute 14 in behind the number 1 car, but now it's going to gain a little bit of time. Obviously, with that moment there on the racetrack from Mehdi Afidi there, and I mean, go big or go home, right? He went big there, and absolutely we mucked that car right up. We've got the 54 car here in place, minute 35 in behind the 27 car. We've got the 66 GT Finland Racing car making their pit stop, as I assume they would probably be making that at the end of that lap to mainly assess that damage, but it's within the pit window as well. So again, if you're going to take the damage, at least take it close to the pit window, right? Alright, so the sequence of pit stops are now underway. Looks like we're going to see the 224 car probably run this to the end here, so I don't think we're going to see a pit stop from our race leader, which is going to gain them more time on the 111 Porsche here in the 2nd position. So Feel Good Racing here is going to have to make a pit stop at the end of this lap as well. Looks like much of the same thing for our 73 car. We definitely know our number 1 car is going to be making that pit stop now for sure. The 20 car is also probably going to be making a stop at the end of this current lap, and much of the same here for the 27 car. The 54 car is still looking okay here, and the 66 car is okay to the end by the looks of it. Hidey is almost right there too. I think they're looking for the end, so might not need to make another stop here. And the Portugal All-Star team here. I don't know if they've got enough in the car there to get them the rest of the way. They may have to make a little bit of a splash and dash perhaps by the end of the stint. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out for them. Alright, so 2-minute 22-second gap now for first, second place. And unless we see the 224 car make a pit stop, which I doubt at this point, that gap is going to stay at least at that. We've got 303 car, 3 minutes and 7 seconds in behind second place. A couple seconds gained so far, not much. And this 3 car is going to make a pit stop, so that gap is going to grow a little bit here. Number 73 car is 33 seconds in behind the FG 303 car, but again, doesn't make a pit stop. Much of the same here for the number 1 car. They're all getting near the end of this lap here now, so we're going to see that pit stop sequence kind of full force take action here as all these drivers basically not quite all of them, but the most of the pack here anyways. And oh my, it's just gone from bad to worse here for 66 for the 66 camper again. Going by the racetrack here now, so rear exploded down the middle of the car, so looks like maybe another stop coming here for that 66 car. Not ideal for them as they keep giving up that free time here with these extra pit stops. Alright, 2 minutes and 20 seconds here is this gap from first to second. Second to third place is 3 minutes and 7 seconds. We have a 35-second gap from third to fourth place here currently. Fourth place has now a 16-second gap back over the number 1 car here. They're trying to continue to chew that back down. Let's see how they manage here. Number 20 car is a minute 7 in behind the 1 car with a 20-second gap to the 27 car in behind them. The 27 car has a minute 35 compared to my team esports car, which is coming in for a scheduled pit stop at this point. That's compared to the 66 car here as they on that car, but again are carrying some new damage on the rear end of that racing car as well, so that is going to slow down their top speed for sure. Blue flag situation right there. Very nicely handled by the 111 and 66 car there. Seven cars closing in on the 20 car here a little bit as well. So we've got the number 1 car closing in on the 73 and we've got the 27 closing in on number 20 right now. I'm just very silently monitoring the gaps right now as we continue to go through the field. I mean, there's not much hard about this Stint. There's some good decent sized gaps here in the race right now. Uneventful for the most part. We had the big moment there from the number 1 car after getting within 4 seconds of 4th place there, and that set them back. Now they're trying to pick up where they left off and closing that gap back up again. But we'll see if they have time left on the clock here. There's only 4 laps remaining here as these drivers finish up this lap. It's actually 4.5. closing a little bit here between 73 and number 1 car. Back down to 11 seconds here right now. The 27 car is closing in on the 20 car here too as well. I mean, this is not much to look for it either. I mean, this is pretty good. We're just kind of watching the video. Everybody's just trying to close up the gap the best they can. Today's gained about 40 seconds on the 66 car here in this last little bit. Minutes 14 seconds, so the 224 car is opening the gap back up. 3-minute gap. So not really what's going on there. And 41 seconds from third to fourth here right now. And I mean, fourth is potentially going to be contested here as well in the Stint. So 8.8 seconds. 17 seconds here is that gap between 27 car setup puts some working on that 20 car. Alright, so number 1 car has that gap down to 8 seconds here again. I think we're just going to sit with this for now. Sit with the number 1 car. No pressure, we're all watching now. 11, race leader, over second place here. Let's take a look at these live timing gaps here. 3 minutes and 8 seconds from second to third place. Not a whole lot has changed here. Feel Good Racing teams went from fourth to third place so far in this stint. They're managing that spot since. Elite Racing Squad went from third to fourth place, and now they're at risk of being challenged here from the number 1 car behind. There's still plenty of time left in the stint yet for them to make that happen here. So the number 1 car is only 5 seconds in behind, so closing pretty quickly. They got the 20 car minute 17 in behind, and only 16 seconds now separating them and the 27 cars. So 27 cars chipping away slowly here at that Project 1 racing car as well. And then not a lot's happening here in the back end. Alright, we'll stick with this battle here. Oops. Not sure what I pushed there. I thought it wasn't working there for a second. I think it's not working. No, it's working. Alright, 3.7 seconds now is that gap between the 73 and the number 1 car, and closing in. Ooh! Second penalty is not going to help the charge here for the number 1 car either. That's going to cost him about a second right on the back straightaway here too as well. Just when he's starting to close in the slipstream range, essentially, or close to the slipstream range of the 73 car in front, is going to give it all away here with that half-second crack of the penalty. That's super unfortunate. 7 seconds is pretty good here as we near the end of the lap. But again, it's going to have to serve that half-second penalty here, so it would be a little bit costly. See what that relates to in time here. I suspect it's going to be at least a solid second. Three-quarters of a second? It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Just waiting for this battle to ensue here. You know what's coming. Almost in slipstream range here at this point now. Just about got it under a second here as we head in through the GP circuit. This has been a stint-long battle here for the #1 car trying to grab this position. He's right there. You can just taste it. Just can't quite get it yet. 73 car obviously doesn't want to get that ugly arrest team. You get one too many's coming for you. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? is key. You see Betty's being very patient here. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to take a big risk at this point in the race now and you know, make a mistake. Obviously, we've seen one mistake already made here by the number 1 car, so he doesn't want to make a second mistake, so to speak. So be very patient, biding his time. He knows that all he's going to do is just wait for a power section and just try to get a little bit of position. So these 3 cars doing a really good job of kind of just keeping the 1 car in behind him here for the time being. But we all know that the move is coming. And there we go. He pulls out here. Actually, Medi is side by side here as the inside track coming into the next corner. We're still side by side here, and the number 1 car is gonna get the job done. That is Medi in the P4. Now just moving up into P4 here, so the number 1 car does manage to finally find his way around the 73 car. Now keeping in mind he had that gap down to 4.5 seconds before the last pit stop there, but he made a mistake, took some good damage on the racing car, and ended up giving about 11 seconds back to the 73 car. He's then since closed that 11 seconds back up and just now made the move to 4th position here ahead of the 73 car. So the esports, or the elite racing squad, pardon me, has dropped 2 positions here in this stint from 3rd down to 5th place here now, and the number 1 car for esports race asylum now up into 4th place, and 53 seconds to the 303 car here up on that final podium position. So a pretty big gap there, but it was a pretty big gap to the 73 car as well here in the stint. So it's not impossible. Definitely not impossible. Number 20 car, a minute and a half, 6.6 seconds is that 27 car. So 27 car is starting to close in here too. They've been chipping away the whole stint at that number 20 Porsche as well. So the 27 car is running out of time, but definitely closing up that gap. P1R shunted. No, why would you say that? But that was just the only battle on the track. There was between the 1 and the 73. There wasn't a whole lot to see going on in the rest of the racetrack in time being, so we just kind of stuck with that. Anticipated it happening a little bit sooner than it did, but I don't think they were shunted at all. I think it was just, I mean, I don't know, I didn't see it, but they do have front end damage here, so mistake made, overdriving the car, blue flag engine, I'm not sure. It is allowing the 27 car to close in here. 1 and a bit laps to go before the driver swap. The 20 car may or may not be in jeopardy of losing that position leading into pit lane. It's really hard to say. I apologize for the quiet broadcast here in this round, but this is really late at night. And, just large gaps in the race, and there's so much we could talk about. Alright, so already got that gap of 2.5 seconds opened up here. 73 cars is doing the best they can to minimize the damage on the gap, essentially. 20 cars a minute 32. We've done a good job of just pacing the fifth place car essentially. It was fourth place car, but now it's fifth place car. With a minute 33 minute gap, but again 2.5 seconds here as the 27 car starts closing in. Who's hosting Stint 12? As in broadcast or as in the actual stint itself? I'll be doing the final stint in comms. Sure who the host of the lobby is. It'll be me. I'll be commentating the final stint. It'll be me. Alright, so the mission for the drivers is close the gaps up. So we have a spicy final stint, right? That's what I say. Need Mother Nature to step in a little bit here. Alright, so it is the 224 car coming in to hand that Ferrari over to the next driver behind the wheel here. That moves us over to the 111 OU Esports Porsche. They're 2 minutes in behind there, so let's go peek this way. Too far. One too far. And the 27 car has actually just gotten the job done there, so just as we went to go check on that gap, we missed the pass. See if we can catch it here real quick. No, we cannot. We're too late. That is unfortunate. So 27 car getting the job done there, finally finding their way around the Project 1 Racing Porsche there as well. So number 20 car falls back into P7 there. 1.8 seconds is the gap, and a little bit of front end damage to the car there. Definitely didn't help that any, but that's racing. That is what happens. Alright, so it is OU Esports there. They had a moment coming over the hill right there, and managed to keep it underneath there. You can see the car is acting very wild here in this hot temperature here, and you can see that definitely trying to get that car to pit lane as quickly as they can. And almost paid the ultimate price for it there. Right, a couple more corners to go here for the 111 car before he pulls it in for, ooh, a little touch of the wall on the exit there too, as he comes in, but he comes flying into pit lane there. Alright, our 303 car here has about 3 minutes in behind our second place driver here, so 224 car and the 111 car moving here in stint number 11 now, and I think it's going to be Jack. Actually, now that I'm saying that, let's take a quick peek-sees here. Let's see if that link is up there. For the next stint broadcast has just got pinned in the comments there for everybody, so you can let me just quick flash over there. Don't have to go look for the page. Don't have to go look in the Discord for the link to find where the next 2-hour stint is. Just hit that link that I just posted in the chat there, and it'll take you right directly to Jack's channel. And make sure to say hello. Definitely like and follow. And this is going to be his IRO debut here today for commentary as well. So welcome into the booth, Jack, and I hope he enjoys his 2 hours of race time in the booth. Alright, so Feel Good Racing, the 303 car here, is just about to the point here where they're on that back straight. And I don't think we have too much to worry about on the back end here now. All the passes have been made just shortly before this point, so we'll see what the gap damage is at this point now as we come into pit lane. Alright, so up one position here from the start of the stint is the Feel Good Racing team. They did have a disconnect in stint number 9, and it did drop them a little bit back, but not too far back to where it took them out of the podium race here, as they're still sitting in 3rd place. We do have the number 1 car here coming now. It was 58 seconds was that gap as well, after they made the pass on the 3 car, and that gap's actually down to 51 seconds here, so he has taking a little chunk out there as well. That was a spicy moment. It was panic potato. It was. You were right. Very, very tense moments. We've seen a few of them out of these drivers here in this stint as well. So lots of good saves and a couple of not so good saves in this stint. You know, if the number 1 car didn't have that moment on the racetrack and have that damage looking cost basically about 15 seconds of the track, you know, they'd be like 30 seconds in behind 3rd place right now, essentially, at the pace that they're running. Alright, the Elite Racing Squad comes in 9 seconds in behind the number 1 car here, and they're a minute 37 ahead of the 27 Inferno Motorsports car, which just grabbed a position on number 20 Project 1 Racing team a half a lap ago. We'll call it a half a lap ago. You can see the 20 car just in the background there, 5.8 seconds in behind as well, so they will be very close in behind that 27 car as they come into pit lane for driver swap here. And depending on what the fuel strategy is for these racers heading into stint number 11, they could be a lot closer or a lot further apart from each other when they come back out as well. So we'll have to wait and see, but the 27 car is in the pit lane here, just heading to their pit box. The 20 car is also entering pit lane, heading towards their pit box here to hand their respective machinery over. The 54 car here is also up in position on the stint here right now from 9th to 8th place, 9th to 8th place. We did have a disconnect from Sector 7 racing car here, and that is going to set them a little further back, so they will end up at least in 10th place here in the next stint. Ooh, big lag spike right there coming from 54 car. That was not him almost crashing, that was just that coating right there. That was sort of the virtual internet world that we're racing on. It can make the cars do things that don't make sense, like that moment right there that we just saw. Ooh. Again, a little bit of net coating made it look like he absolutely turfed the wall there. There's no damage on the car, so he definitely didn't hit the wall there. But the game sure made it look like he absolutely turfed the wall there, didn't it? That looked rough, too. Oh, Gran Turismo. Alright, our 66 car is getting close to the end of his run here as well. Getting ready to turn that car over, and then it will be QRT and the Portugal All-Star team. With another lap to go here before they bring that thing home. So. The 66 car is in. And we are going to meet that note here for the remainder of this lap here for the remaining two drivers. And again, the pinned comment there is the link to the stint number 11, which is now fully underway here. Top 9, 10 drivers should be exiting pit lane here, and we should be underway. So go say hello to Jack, and we'll see you guys in less than a couple hours.
It's time to end the show. The stream is over, I got to go. Now is not the time to be sad. I'll be back, there's more streaming to be had. GT45 will bring the best with an entertainment fest, where friends are made and good times never fade. Soon it will be time again to kick the tires and light the fires and stay winning, hey winning, hey winning, hey winning, hey winning.